about some technology products. Mind you, this video hasn't been planned, so I'm just making it on the run. I haven't actually done this before. But a lot of people want to know is, how do they tune their TVs? How do they set up their PVR recorder? How do they connect their phone to cameras? How do they set up their radios, car radios? Other people want to know how they put up their dash camera, or how to put a reversing camera. Others want to know how about they do tire pressure monitoring systems, how do they set up their CB radios. There's other people trying to get their phones to sync with their car radios so they can listen to their phone on the radio, and a whole lot of other different sort of issues. Well, we can cover a little bit by bit, topic by topic. It's one massive lot of things. So what we're planning on doing is we want to help these people, help yourself, if you want to know about different technologies. Just contact your local Protestant church. If you have a local Protestant church, just you can give us a call, contact us, and we can put on a little presentation seminar covering some of your technology questions, including microphones, speaker systems, PA, all them sort of things. And yes, there is a difference between. Some people don't know what phantom power is, what DI boxes are, earth leakage and earth feedback, why they get buzzing sounds into their speakers. Some people don't know which speakers connect with their radios, and so forth and so forth. Anyway, there's a whole lot of different things, or how you can get one TV show to come through multiple different rooms without having a second TV. Oops, let me just change lanes. We've got someone trying to sideswipe us. So anyway, we're holding a few seminars to cover your question topics. I thought I might cover some of the basics. Like, for example, why is my TV picture pixulating? Or why can't I get some channels? That usually comes down to your reception. A lot of people think their system's working with their previous TV, but one thing you've got to be careful of is there's a lot of things that can weaken signals. Like your cable, and you've got a lot of cables, like if you set your TV, that can interfere with the signal. You may need to change your fly lead, your RF lead. That's the cable from the back of your TV to the back of the wall, where it goes up to the antenna. So that little fly lead is about 1.5 metres long, or 1 metre long. The standard one is probably about $10, but then you may need to get what's called a quad shielded, which is better shielding. They're about $30, $40. Other things you may need to look at is getting amplifiers, especially if you're on a two-story house, or your antenna is really high up, trying to get over the hills or trees. You may need to get a high gain antenna, a quad shielded cable, retune your TV. And if you put an amplifier, you need a mask head amplifier, and that'll amplify your signal. If you have a big house, then you may need to get a couple of amps and a few quad shielded cables, especially if you've got more than one TV antenna point in your house. So if you do have a gig in there, you'll obviously need to get a power supply to power up your amp. That's usually done by a little fly lead plugged into the wall via a 240 volt socket. Once you've got all those things, you can retune your TVs. If you want it, or your PVR, but just make sure you got your unit set to DTV. That's digital television. And then tune your TV. You have to select channels. Each TV is differently, so once you set your TV to DTV, that's digital television, then select channels. And may have to select satellite if you want to tune your TV, some TVs, depending on your TV, and tune your stations. take a few minutes. Other things are, some people may have a problem trying to pick up reception. That's usually why. You may need a higher gain antenna, a quite shielded cable, the length of your cabling between the antenna and your TV, or how many TVs are on in your house. Is there a tree or a building right behind you, or right in front of your house, or behind your house where your antenna is? They can all send feedback signals. They can interfere or block signal or give too much signal. You may get a directional antenna. Okay, contact your local church and you can see if there's a little seminar about that thing. It's a big topic. And you also got different sort of cablings. Your HDMI cables, your S-video cables, your VGA cables, your composite and component cables, which ones you're going to use. So we have actual whole presentation based on TV tuning and so forth. But each TV, different models, they have these slightly different tuning sequences, depending on which brand of TV you have. The different brand of TVs have different way of tuning. There's about 3 or 4 different sort of tuning systems. There are a few others, but they're the 3 or 4 basic ones these days. Each have a slightly different way of doing it. Other things to remember if you're doing cameras, reversing camera systems, now you need to make sure your monitor, your cables and your cameras all match, because these days they're not all the same. Even from the same manufacturer, you can get different sort of cables and cameras with different specific units, and they're not all interchangeable. So make sure you get the right cables for the right units and the right cameras for the right units. Your cameras are called SD for standard definition cameras, HD for high definition cameras, AHD for analog high definition, FHD full high definition, and ultra or 4K, which is a 4K camera. And just remember, they're not interchangeable. We'll change lanes with this guy coming. So make sure whatever monitor you have the camera that matches that specific monitor camera. They must match. So you can't get an AHD with a HD, an FHD with a 4K, or an SD with a 4K or FHD. You can't mix and match. You need to make sure you get the right one that matches. So HD has to go with HD monitor. So SD, standard definition, has to go with a standard definition monitor. An AHD, analog high definition, needs to go with a camera, needs to go with an AHD, analog high definition monitor. You can't interchange different cameras and monitors. Next thing you'll look out for is your camera a reverse view or a rear view, reversing camera or a rear view camera. That's a very confusing topic for many people, even for those in the trade sometimes. Now, the difference between a reversing camera and a rear view camera is what you see on your monitor. See, a reversing camera, when you're looking, you reverse your car, you look on your monitor that's in front of you, and on the monitor, what's on the left hand side of the monitor is what's on the left hand side of the vehicle. What's on the right hand side of the monitor is on the right hand side of your vehicle. That is a reversing camera. A rear view camera is different. A rear view, let me just turn here. What's on the left hand side of the monitor is actually on the right hand side hand side of your vehicle. Why is that so? Well, it's because if you turn around and look behind you, so you need to look behind you. So if you're looking behind you, so you're looking at the back of your vehicle. So there we go. So if you're looking out the back of your window, now look at what you're looking at. What you see on your right hand side when you're looking out the back window is actually on the left hand side of the vehicle. And what's on the left hand side, what's on your left, is actually on the right hand side of the vehicle. Run that by you again. When you're looking out the back window, what you see on your right hand side is actually what is on the left hand side of the vehicle, of your car. And what is on the your left hand side, what's on your left hand side of your body, is actually on the right hand side of your vehicle. So it's like you're looking behind you, you're looking behind you. So that's what you're going to be seeing on your monitor. So what's on your left hand side when you're looking behind you will be on the left hand side of your monitor. And what's on your right hand side will be on your right hand side of the monitor. And so if you're directly looking out your back window. So when you're looking at the monitor, you're looking as though you're looking directly outside your back window, as if you turned around and looked outside your window. Turn around and have a look just so you can get that concept. A lot of people don't quite understand that one. So that is what we call a rear view camera. So when you're looking at the monitor, what's on the right hand side of the monitor is what's on the left hand side of the vehicle, and vice versa. That's a rear view camera. So just make sure you get the difference between a rear view and a reversing camera, where it's the opposite. With a reversing camera, what's on the right side of the monitor is on the right hand side of the car. What's on the left hand side of the monitor is on the left hand side of the car. And also, just keep in mind, some cameras you can switch. You can flip them left and right, up and down. So that can depend on your camera or your monitor. Now just make sure whether if you do have a flipped image, whether that flipped image is automatic or it's coming from your monitor or your radio, or is it the camera. It can be one or the other or both. So you may need to contact the manufacturer of your car radio, or that one may be, or just read the instruction manual. Or what you could do what you've done to see this video, do a YouTube search. Other things to keep in mind is, if you want to try to pair your phone with your radio, well, what you may need to do is go by Bluetooth on your car radio, if your car radio has Bluetooth, and you may need to pair, so turn on your Bluetooth on your phone, and then turn on the Bluetooth on your car radio, and then pair. There should be a button saying pair. So select Bluetooth on your car radio and look at that little Bluetooth icon and you can see pair, and then pair with your phone. There are other things where you've got Bluetooth devices that you can plug into your cigarette lighter adapter or whatever. Then what you need to do is then turn your car radio on, plug your cigarette lighter adapter Bluetooth device, FM transmitter to your cigarette lighter, and now tune your car radio first, whether you have to auto-tune or manually tune. Find a station where there's no commercial stations, so there's no radio stations. So if you tune to, for example, 101.432, whatever, and you find there's a radio station there, go a couple of notches where there's nothing. So for example, I don't know any stations here, I'm just making an example. If you tune to 101.5, and there's a commercial station there, then tune to 101.7 and there's nothing, well, if you tune to 101.7, make sure there's nothing on either side of that station. Make sure there's nothing on 101.6, 101.7 and 101.8. If there's nothing on any of those channels, then tune it to 101.7. Once you've done that, then on your Bluetooth FM transmitter, tune that to the same frequency of your car radio. You need to tune it to the same frequency of the 101.7. So you go to your instruction manual and find out how to tune your FM Bluetooth transmitter to 101.7, which is the same frequency you've tuned your car radio to. And once you've done that, then on your phone, you may need to reboot your phone, shut down your phone, completely shut it down and start it up again. Always do that if you're trying to pair devices with your phone. Reboot your phone first. Because a lot of phones, when they get updates, they do affect the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth functions, especially when they get an update. So rebooting your phone, just make sure that the all cache has been cleared and it's ready for going. So first and foremost, reboot your phones. Once you reboot your phones, then turn on your Bluetooth on your phone and then search for whatever the name is of your FM transmitter that you just installed. And then once you've done that, start playing some music on your phone. When you start playing music on your phone, if you're not getting sound through your speakers of your car, just keep in mind that you may need to turn the volume up turn the volume on your phone up, turn the volume of your Bluetooth FM transmitter up, and turn the volume of your car radio up. Because all three of those
mobile speed camera zone
can actually stop the volume sound coming from your speaker. So make sure all three devices has the volume up. Your car radio, your Bluetooth FM transmitter, and your phone. Just turn all those volumes up and play some music on your phone and see if you can hear some coming through your car radio headphone, your car speakers. Other things to want to do is your dash cameras. Now, dash cameras, there's a whole different variety of sort of dash cameras with a whole different sort of features and functionalities. The first thing you want to do when you set up your dash camera is make sure that you put it in the correct position. If you've got a front dash camera and a rear camera, before you set it in seal it in its location, before you set the adhesives, before you mount it, whatever you do, before you firmly mount it that location, just make sure that it's center of your vehicle and in a position that you want to be able to record. Because if you
mobile speed camera zone,
you mount it to your windscreen or your back window or whatever, and then you find out, hang on, it's pointing too far up, too far down, too far left, or too far to the right, then you're in trouble. So just make sure before you mount it that you check the videos you just made with it there and it's actually in the right position. Once you've found it's in the right position, some dash cameras and rear cameras you can actually view it. Look, I'll just stop here for a moment. Right, sorry for the break. We had a lot of traffic we had to get off. After you've mounted your dash camera or rear camera in the center so you get the best viewing position and best viewing angle, the next thing you need to do is obviously make sure you charge it before you do anything. Some cameras need to be charged first, not all, but some do. The first thing you need to do is set the time and date. Now refer to your instruction manual to do that. You need to get into the menu. Once you get to the menu, look for where it says time and date, or date and time, or synchronize the device with your phone or something like that. So you need to set the time and date. Once you've set the time and date, just make sure you got date stamp enabled. Once you've set the time and date, to be correct, date stamp basically puts stamps on the actual video, the time and date of the video recording, as what you just set the time and date as. So if you have date stamp turned off, then it will not show you the time and date on the video itself. If you have date stamp turned on, then you will see the video, should see the video time and date on the actual video. The next thing you want to be able to do is set your sensor with a G sensor or impact sensor. That's basically if something happens and your vehicle hits a speed hump, or someone hits into you, or you hit something that shocks your vehicle, that it'll lock that video file so it will not get deleted in loop recording. So just check your impact sensitivity or your G sensor, motion sensitivity, whatever it may be called. You may have low, medium, high, 1, 2, 3, depending on how sensitive and how much your vehicle is. Like for example, higher sensitivity is if you've got a luxury vehicle with very high good shock absorbers. Low sensitivity would be for a vehicle like for example like a truck or a ute, for example only. That it's sensitive, you can feel all the vibrations. Because if it hits the vibration, it'll lock that file and it won't be deleted. Not in loop recording anyway. Next thing you do, depending on your camera, whether you want the screen to turn off, which is could be called screensaver or backlight or whatever it may be called, maybe 1, 3, 5 minutes, 10 seconds, whatever it may be. Do you want your screen to turn off if your camera has a screen? So you may set that one. Also set your something called record loop or loop recording or something like that. Set it for something like 3 minutes is a good time. Set it for around 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. You don't want 10-minute things, because if you put a loop recording for 10 minutes and you lock a couple of files get locked, then you just locked away 10, 20, 30 minutes of space on your memory card. And that means you can fill up your card very quickly and you won't be able to use it. So just put it down for about 2 or 3 minute loop recording. So if anything happens, you're only locking a very small portion of your memory card away. Other thing to do is check the resolution. Resolution is basically the higher the resolution, the higher the quality of image. It means you've got better quality image, but it means it's going to take a lot more space and you use up your card a lot quicker. So it depends on which way you want to go. Higher footage, higher resolution, higher quality images, but wear out your card quicker, or prolong your card to have a small file and have much less quality of your image. Image quality will be reduced. Next thing to do is, once you've done all that, is check your instruction manual. Have a read of it. Go through your entire manual. Have a read of everything in your manual. Whether you think it's worth it or not, read your manual. All of it. But one thing I want to point you to is the specifications. Check your camera specifications for a memory card, otherwise known as an SD card. There's a variety of sort of SD cards, and make sure you do buy it from a reputable dealer. I'm not going to tell you where you should buy it from, but just try to avoid places where you don't know, like some unknown place online from the internet. Just be careful buying on the internet. A lot of places don't sell true cards. they sell forged copies, non-original. So it looks legitimate, the packaging looks real, the SD card looks real, the writing looks real, like a genuine article, but a lot of them are not. There are a lot of fakes. Not everyone, not all, but there are a lot of them out there. And the best place they're selling them at is online, on the internet. So just make sure, if you do go buy an SD card, memory card, just make sure you buy it from a reputable, known dealership. Someplace you know and trust. Anyway, on your instruction manual, it will tell you what type of card to get. There's two things that you need to be careful of when you're buying a memory card. And it's very important. One is the capacity. How many gigs? 8 gig, 16 gig, 32 gig, 64 gig, 128, 256 gig. What is the maximum capacity on your memory card of your device you can take? Because if you get one that's too big, your device may not recognize it. Likewise, if it's too small, your device may not recognize it, and you've just wasted your money. The other thing to keep in mind is the read-write speed. It's going to be a classification. It'll be a class 6, class 8, class 4, class 8, 6, class 10, U1, U2, U3. Because this is basically the read-write speed. It's called a class. You'll have a little C or a little U. So look on your packaging, look on your card, look for the letter C for Charlie or U for umbrella. If it has a C for Charlie or U for umbrella, then look at the number that's inside of that letter. The C should have like a 4 or a 6 or a 10. The U will have a U with the number 1, 2 or 3. That tells you about the read-write speed. If you get one, make sure you get one that's matching with your device manual. Because if you get one that's not compatible, the card may have a read-write speed which is too fast for your device, and it won't work. That's why you may have wasted your money. So make sure you get the right classification. Also, make sure you don't get one that's too slow. Like, for example, if yours says it needs a class 10, and you get something that's class 4 or class 6, your device may not actually recognize it. So make sure you get one that matches the specifications of your device. Read the instruction manual. Once you've done that, the next thing to look out for is make sure you put it in the correct way. On your memory card, make sure it's a micro SD card. Usually it's a micro SD card. Got the little, one side's got writing on it, the other side does not. One side, and on the one that does not have writing, it's got about 4 or 5 little shiny metal top points. They're the contacts. Make sure that when you look into your SD card slot, so make sure you'll see on one side of the SD card slot looks like a little plastic, like a greyish black plastic. Another side looks like there's a little silver metal sort of thing. Just make sure you get it in between the right slot. Don't go out, because if you go, you don't want to push it inside internally inside the camera's electronics. You want to put it in the card slot, not in the electronics. So make sure you put those little contacts towards the plastic side of the slot, and the writing on the card, make sure that goes towards the metal side of the SD card slot, and make sure the contacts go in first. Then push it in. Use your fingernail, for those who had fingernails, just push it in so it clicks. Just keep pushing it in, and then it will just lock into place. If you release your finger a little bit and it springs back out, it and your remover finger hasn't locked in, more than likely you haven't pushed it in far enough. Just push it a little bit further. Don't be afraid, just push it in and it locks in place. Make sure, and first and foremost remember, never put an SD card into your devices while the unit is turned on. Make sure your device is turned off, power is turned off before you put the SD card in. Also before you take the SD card out. Otherwise you can corrupt it. And a lot of people got corrupted files, and the SD card does not work because you've pulled it out while there's power to it, or put it in while there's power. Also keep in mind, the smaller the memory size of your card, the more often you'll have to replace, because SD cards wear out. It has a limited amount of read-write cycles. Like loop recording, it can only go loop over a certain amount of time. It's like when you write on a piece of paper and then you rub it out with you rub it out, and then you write on the paper again, then you rub that out, and you write on the paper again and rub that out. Eventually, your paper, you can't use it anymore. SD cards are the same. Because it keeps the loop recording over and over and over, it records over the old recordings again and again and again. The SD card gets file corruption errors, cluster errors, and sector errors. Formatting it sometimes can sort of fix it a bit, but eventually you will need to replace it. If you're driving all day, every day, you've got an 8 gig, you may need to replace it as a guide every couple of months or 2 or 3 months. If 16 gig, you may need to change every 5-6 months, maybe 4 months. 32, maybe 8 months, 12 months. But the more you drive, if you do more driving, like 4 hours a day, every day of the week, then you may need to replace it more often. Other things we have, some people use, are vehicle tracking systems. We use satellite navigation. One thing to keep in mind is metal blocks satellite communication. So if you're going to put a satellite tracking device in your vehicle, make sure you do not put it underneath anything metal. The best spot to put it is just underneath the foam of your dashboard. Not underneath your radio, not behind your glove box, not in the kick panel, or not underneath the roof, or do not put it underneath your steering column, do not put it underneath your cluster or under your seat, and so forth. It needs to view the satellite, so best spot just underneath the windscreen, and just underneath the foam of your dash. If you've got a plastic removable panel, stick it under there, it's the best spot for it, which is just underneath the windscreen, away from metal. Also, do not put any electronic devices like dash cameras, power cables, tracker systems, if your car has a radar, don't put it anywhere near there, because that can interfere with your radar and affects the functionality of Wi-Fi and so forth, and a few other things. So make sure you keep it away from anything radar in your vehicle. And then look to your instruction manual, find out how you correctly wire it. Just remember, some devices have different color coded for their wiring. There should be a standard, there is a standard, but not everyone sticks to the same standard. Because normally you got a red, yellow, black, orange wires. Sometimes you got pink and blue and so forth. So just check which wire is your constant or your B+. That means your battery power. Sometimes it's a yellow wire, sometimes it's a red wire, depending on what application or device you're using. So check your manual, check the labeling on the wiring. Usually it's yellow, but sometimes it's red. Sometimes yellow can be used as a trigger wire, but black is usually ground. So before you connect it all up, make sure you put the wire as per your instruction manual. Some trackers need SIM cards. So So when you get your SIM card, make sure you get a mobile phone SIM card. Some trackers may need just data, so that way you can get away with a data card. But a lot of trackers, they need mobile phone SIM cards because they need satellites and send data, and then you've got to pair it with text messaging like web messaging. So check your manual, check your manufacturer. Make sure you get a mobile phone SIM card, a standalone SIM card that has mobile phone. You can make phone calls, you can download data and send text messages. And just keep in mind what size SIM you're using, because every SIM card can be broken down into 3 different sizes: your standard, your micro and your nano SIMs. If you don't go breaking it down too small, use the full size SIM. Most trackers, you need the full size SIM. If you feel like you put your SIM card in and you slide it from side to side, that's wrong, it's too small. Use the full size SIM, don't break down to the micro nano. Sometimes you need to put it in the little cradles that come with your SIM card. So make sure you put the full size SIM, because it needs to make sure those contacts meet the contacts inside the slot. In your SIM card slots there, you need to make contact with the correct contacts. Once again, same thing I said with the SD card. Make sure your contacts is going towards the plastic, and the one where there's no contacts on your SIM card, make sure that goes towards the slot beside it's got the metal on the SIM card slot. So use the full size SIM and it should just lock into place. Don't use the small ones where it's smaller than the actual SIM card slot, otherwise you're giving yourself problems. Some trackers, they work straight away as is, but a lot of trackers you need to pair it up, set it up. So each tracker works differently, so you need to contact your manufacturer's instruction manual. Refer to your manual for that one. Like I say, there's a lot more things we can cover, from satellite tracking, dash cameras, rear cameras, car radios, Bluetooth devices, phones, connect phones to cameras. Some dash cameras you can connect your phone to. I've noticed, one of the issues I've noticed recently is iPhones. If you've got an iPhone, when they do the updates, sometimes they don't pair up properly with your devices. So the first thing, and Android do the same sometimes, just not as much as iPhone. Just reboot your device. Just shut it down completely and start it up again. Some devices you may need to turn your location services on, which is in your settings. If you've got an iPhone, go into your phone settings and then go into your phone's privacy settings to see location services. You may need to turn that on, and also turn your mobile data off. For Android, just swipe down from the top of your screen down to the bottom. Do that a couple of times, and then you can swipe from the left and right and you'll see a few icons there. Once again, you'll see one icon should say location, and the other say mobile data. Just make sure your location is turned on, mobile data is turned off, and then try to pair. First of all, when you try to pair with your devices, turn on your cameras or devices Wi-Fi network, and then once your Wi-Fi network on your cameras and devices are turned on, then search for that Wi-Fi network on your phone, pair with it. Once you're paired, then open up the app if there's an app. So don't open up your app before you connect to your camera or your device. A lot of devices need to connect to the Wi-Fi network first, then open up your app. Other thing to keep in mind of is, there's a lot of things. So anyway, I'm about ended around here. So like I said, it's got to be a lot more details. I'm just covering the basics for now. But what you can do, contact your local church, your local Protestant churches. You know, let them know about this ministry here, and you know, we can arrange to have a seminar series on some of these different topics. Also, like for example, car radio amplifiers, your home amplifiers and your car amplifiers. Your amplifier on your car, you mainly need three things. Your ground, make sure that goes to ground. Your 12 volts, it's 12 volts, and that remote wire connector. If you don't know what the remote is, that's basically the signal wire from your car radio that should have a power amplifier, positive 12 volts when you turn your car radio on. So when you don't have your car radio on, your amplifier is off. But when you turn your car radio on, it turns the signal to the amplifier to turn on. So check your car radio's instruction manual, see if you have an remote wire. Make sure it's 12 volts. Then you connect your speakers. You connect your RCAs, your RCA sockets from your car radio or whatever it may be to your amplifier, and then from your amplifier to your speakers and your subwoofers and so forth. But contact your instruction manual for the amp, because many amps work differently and got different speaker configurations. So refer to your speaker, your amp instruction manual. Just make sure you have your high pass or low pass or half-wave filter in there. High pass filter, low pass filter, so forth, because that'll change what sort of amp you have. Make sure you don't turn your gains. Make sure you turn your gains up to correct levels. Otherwise you get either no sound or muffled sound, depending on what you switch. Also you got your home amplifiers. You know, we got multiple inputs from your satellite, your radio, your TV, your stereo system. You can have 5.1 surround sound, 7.2 surround sound, 9.2. Now if you don't know what those numbers mean, your speaker systems, 5.1, 7.2 speaker system, basically all that means is the amount of speakers you have. So for example, if you see a system says speaker system 5.1, that means you have 5 normal speakers and one subwoofer. It's a subwoofer speaker. So 5 standard speakers and 1 subwoofer speaker. A 7.2 will mean you have 7 standard speakers and 2 subwoofers, and so forth and so forth. 9.2 means you've got 9 standard speakers and 2 subwoofers. And then you got different sort of speaker configuration, where you got a different room. You can set to be all in one room, or you can have certain speakers depending on your home amplifier. It can be to a dedicated room, different room. Other things you can do is you can actually, now if you want, you ever worried when you want to go to the kitchen, or you want to go to the toilet, or go to your room or something like that, and your TV show is on, but you don't, and it's not a commercial, not an ad, and you want to go while the TV show's on, but you don't want to miss anything. What you can do is you can wirelessly transmit your signal from your main TV to different places in the house. You can either transmit just the audio, or you can transmit the audio and the video. So that way you can either listen via headphones if you want to, and you listen to the audio, or you can have it to a speaker system, or you can have it to another TV in another room. So even while you're watching your TV in the living room, you can listen to it or watch it in other rooms while without having to miss anything if you want to go to the other room. Now there's a whole different way of connecting that one. Anyway, if you want to, you can you want to how to do that, like I say, I might call it as an exit for today. Contact your local Protestant churches. Let them know about the this Word on Wheels ministry, and we can probably have someone. If there's a big enough group, want to know more about these things and a few other things, contact us and get them to contact us, and we'll see if we can arrange to have a seminar series at your local Protestant church, and we can share you some more information, and maybe if you give some makes and models of your particular units, your cameras and TVs and so forth, whatever you have, and we may be able to do a presentation based on that unit if you need help with that product. Anyway, this is Word on Wheels signing out. Just keep remember, God loves you. He's here for us. God bless.